Should we start? Yes. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Good morning and namaste and welcome back. Today I want to read a short chapter from this book, the 6th chapter. It's my favorite because it's short, only 10 verses, but also it's packed with non-dual insights, and it says only one thing. The name of the chapter is Atma Manana, contemplation of the Atman. So it is like non-dual meditation. Just reading that and quietly dwelling on what it is saying is equal to meditation. So I'd love to read the chapter along with you. We will do a meditation first and then go into the chapter, start the first verse, and then take some questions. And that's what we'll do for each of the 3 sessions. One meditation, reading the verses, and then some questions. This meditation also is connected to the first verse, which we will read today. The meditation is the who am I meditation, or what am I? I actually think what am I is a more precise question, because when you say I'm not the body is a what. So I'm not this body. So then what am I? All right. When we are ready, we can sit straight, close our eyes when you feel comfortable, in whatever position you feel comfortable. You can keep the book on your lap also if you like. Relaxed, sitting straight. Not rigid. During the meditation, let us try not to move at all. Let us try to be as stiff as possible, as still as possible, but not stiff. Don't strain. As I said, if there is an ache, you want to make a little adjustment, do so. Don't fight it, but then come back to stillness. It is important to be still. Still, sitting quietly. Visualize the mountain just near this retreat. Sit like the mountain and let the breath flow like the wind. Visualize how the mountain is sitting, huge, heavy, for thousands of years immobile. Sit like the mountain. And as the air, the breeze plays on the sides and the top of the mountain, let the breath come and go. Don't try to control it. Short breaths, long breaths, whatever comes. Like the air, like the breeze on the mountain top. Sit like the mountain. Breathe like the wind. Relaxed and still. Draw the attention to the breathing at the nose, at the nostrils. Feel the in-breath go in at the nostrils. Feel the out-breath go out. As the in-breath goes in, mentally count 1. As the out-breath naturally goes out, mentally count 2. Then the next in-breath 3, out-breath 4. Like this, go on till 10. Sitting like the mountain, breathing like the wind. Gently draw the attention to the sensations of the body, the pressures, the warmth, the sense of bodily existence. Visualize the body. Am I the body? Clearly the body changes from babyhood to childhood to youth to middle age and old age. So much change. I am the same. I the same. And the ever-changing body. How can they be the same thing? How can I be the body? I am aware of the body. I am the knower of the body. I experience the body. I can see it, touch it, feel it. The body is an object. I am the subject. The body is drishya, the seen. I am drashta, the seer. How can the subject and the object ever be the same? How can the seen and the seer ever be the same? How can I be the body? Again I notice I am aware. I am aware of myself. I am aware of the body. The body is not aware of itself. And certainly it is not aware of me, the subject, the knower. I am aware, the body is not aware. Aware and not aware, how can they be the same? How can I be the body? Feel the bodily sensations and know that the ever-changing body and the never-changing I are not one. That the object body and the subject I are not one. That the non-aware body and the aware I are not one. I am not the body. It's a biological machine. Breathing normally, sitting like the mountain, breath like the wind. Now focus further inwards. What am I? Notice the breath coming in at the nostril and the out breath going out. Am I prana, the breath? The prana is this amazing system which powers the physiological being, respiration, circulation, assimilation. All life processes are sustained by prana, life itself. Am I prana? The most noticeable part of the prana, easily graspable, is the breath. Notice the breath. The breath changes. There is in-breath, there is out-breath. There are long breaths and short breaths. There are thousands of breaths throughout the day, coming and going. I am the same. I, the unchanging and the ever-changing surges of breath. How can I be the same as the breath? I am aware of the breath. I am the knower, the subject. The breath is an object. I am the drashta. The breath is the drishya. In all mindfulness meditation, we use the breath as an anchor. We are aware of the breath. Then that which is aware and the object you are aware of, how can they be the same? Further, I am aware. The breath is not aware, prana is not aware. The prana is an object to me. Therefore, how can I be the breath? How can I be prana? The ever-changing prana and the never-changing I, the object prana and the subject I, the non-aware prana and the aware I, they can never be the same thing. I am not prana. Sitting like the mountain, breathe like the wind. Further inwards, more subtle, make the attention more subtle. Subtler than the body, inward to the body. Subtler than the prana, inward to the prana, is mind. Thoughts, memories, emotions, ever changing within the course of a single day. How many times happy, how many times miserable, how many times excited, how many times bored, how many times restless, how many times centered and peaceful. That is the mind, ever changing. But I notice in the happy mind, I was there. In the sad mind, I was there. In the restless mind, the same I. And when the mind became centered, the same I. The ever-changing mind and the never-changing I, how can they be the same? I am not the mind. Thoughts, emotions, memories, the very stuff of the mind, they are all drishya. I am aware of them. I can know them through introspection. I know my own thoughts. I know my own feelings. Therefore, they are objects. They are drishya. I am the drashta. They are seen. I am the seer. The seer and seen can never be the same. Therefore, I am not the mind which is also seen. Again, I am aware, and amazingly, if I look closely, the mind itself is not aware. It shines in my awareness, that's why it seems aware. Pick a thought, any thought, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just mental chatter. It is not aware. A, B, C, D is not aware of itself, nor is it aware of you. You are aware of the thought A, B, C, D. And you are aware of yourself. So thoughts are like mental talk. They are not aware. You are aware. That which is not aware, that which is aware, how can they be ever the same? I am not the mind. Ever-changing mind, never-changing I. The object seen, drishya mind, subject seer, drashta I. The non-aware mind and the ever-aware I. They can never be the same. I am not the mind. Sitting like the mountain, breathe naturally like the wind. subtler, more inward to the body, to the prana, to the mind, more subtle, is a function of the mind, the higher mind, the intellect, that which understands, even that which is doing all this right now. That intellect, am I intelligence? But then intellect also changes from not understanding to understanding. How our intellect has changed over the years through school and college and adulthood. I am the same one, the ignorant school child, and then the knowledgeable graduate. I am the same one. Intellect changed. Changing intellect, non-changing I are not the same. Again, the intellect is seen. You can see the experience, the changes, the understanding in your own mind. When I understand something, I'm aware of it. When I cannot understand something, I'm aware of the ignorance in the intellect. So I am the seer of the intellect. The intellect is the seen. I am the witness of the intellect. The intellect is seen, witnessed, illumined by me. The seer and the seen, the knower and the known, the subject and object can never be the same. I am not the intellect. Again, I am luminous, I am aware. The understanding in the intellect shines in my awareness. That's why it seems aware and shining. By itself, it has no awareness. I am the awareness. The intellect does not have its own awareness. I, the never changing, ever the subject and ever conscious, can never be the intellect which is ever changing, always the object and never conscious. Sit like the mountain, breathe like the wind, natural breath. Now simulate blankness. Imagine for a moment the world has disappeared. This hall too has disappeared. Body has disappeared. All speech is silent. Thoughts have fallen silent. Feelings are neutral. No memory. Don't even remember my own name. Remember nothing. Complete blank. I do not see anything, hear anything, smell or taste or touch anything. Without any thought, without any feelings, without any memory, without any pain or pleasure, without the operation of the intellect. Total silence, total stillness. Am I this blankness? Am I this stillness? But this also changes. It comes and goes. Deep sleep turns into waking. From anesthesia we wake up. Stillness also comes and goes. Blankness and deep sleep also come and go. But I am always there. Even the stillness is an object of my experience. I am the witness of that stillness. And even the stillness has no consciousness. It's just blankness, darkness. I am conscious. I am conscious of the stillness. Therefore, I, the ever-present, can never be the shifting stillness. I, the knower, can never be the known stillness. I, the awareness, can never be the non-aware stillness, the blankness. Therefore, that blankness too I am not. Then what am I? Sitting like the mountain, breathe like the wind. I am not the body, the Annamaya Kosha, I am not. I am not the prana, the vital forces, I am not. I am not the mind, Manomaya Kosha, I am not. I am not even the higher mind, the intellect, Vijnanamaya Kosha, I am not. And beyond that, dismiss everything in the world and in the body, mind, prana, intellect, just utter blankness. That too I am not. What am I? Sitting like the mountain, breath like the wind. Turning inwards from the utter stillness, darkness of the Anandamaya Kosha. I am that to which these five appear, in whose light they play around and change. I am that awareness, that being to which the body appears, the prana appears, the mind appears, the intellect appears, and they all disappear into blankness. That too appears to me, the witness consciousness. I am awareness, I am Chit, I am Chaitanya, I am pure consciousness, I am the witness consciousness Sakshi, Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. I am Bodha. Bodha means awareness, this isness awareness. Never an object, never to be known, never changing, ever the knower, ever the illuminer. Beyond the ailments of the body, I am always free of ailments, of the birth and death of the body. Beyond the sickness, hunger and thirst of prana, I am ever free of sickness, hunger and thirst. Beyond the moods and the depressions and the anxieties and the desires and the excitements of the mind, I am ever serene consciousness. Beyond the knowledge and ignorance of the intellect, I am the ever shining consciousness. Forever beyond the darkness of the causal state, Anandamaya, I am consciousness. Never aging, never born, never dying, never subject to hunger and thirst, never subject to illness, never subject to the moods and depressions and desires of the mind, never affected by the knowledge or ignorance of the intellect, nor by the darkness of the deep sleep state, the Anandamaya. I am light, I am consciousness, I am light shining. I am Bodha. I am the light of lights. By me, everything here is illumined. I shining, everything shines. Sitting like the mountain, breath like the wind. I am, I shine. With eyes closed and with eyes open, it is the same. I am, I shine, I am Bodha, awareness. We shall chant Om 3 times, after which you can open your eyes gently when you are free, when you feel able, when you feel comfortable. When you look down at your lap, don't look up immediately. Do not make any sudden moves. Chanting Om together 3 times. Om. chapter 6, verse 1. Shuddha niranjanananto, Shuddha niranjanonanto, Bodhoham prakrite paraha, Bodhoham prakrite paraha, Cheshtamanam imam deham, Cheshtamana imam deham, Pashyamyanya shariravat, Pashyamyanya shariravat. I am pure, stainless, infinite consciousness and beyond Maya. Due to the unreal and illusory relationship with my body, in the public view, I seem to be engaged in different activities, but I see this body as separate like someone else's. All right. It's a beautiful opening verse. Focus first on this Bodho Aham, I am awareness, flowing from the meditation we just did. You, the witness of the physical body, of the prana. Always in these meditations, be like the child, knows. When I say physical body, here. Don't conceive of some body, oh, there is a body. No, here. Then the prana, here. This is the tip of the prana. Prana is a vast system. This is the tip. And then mind, look inside. Yes, there is the mind. Then the intellect. That's also mind, but it's a higher mind, the capacity to understand. And then dismiss all of it. Simulate a deep sleep or a deep anesthesia or something. Blank. I am the witness of all of that. Again, if you proceed, nose, body, prana, mind, intellect, blankness, subtler and subtler, inwards and inwards. Then when it comes to the witness of all of them, it will be real for you. Otherwise, he just told me that I am witness consciousness. Okay, I guess I am the witness consciousness. No, it must feel real. I am that. And now we see the first verse says, Bodho aham, I am awareness. Bodha means awareness. Just awareness. Not thoughts, not feelings, not ideas, not memories, not desires, not consciousness plus object is equal to experience. No. Just the see itself, not C plus O is equal to E. Just the see itself, that I am. To indicate that, he says, Shuddha. Shuddha means pure. Bodha, I am awareness. What kind of awareness? Because awareness, immediately we know what awareness is. Right now we are all aware. But this awareness is mixed. It is mixed. Awareness plus object. If you remove all objects, flush out all objects, you'll have a blankness. That's also an object. The absence of objects is also an object. It's a peculiar negative kind of object. And the awareness is again the witness of that. Without regard to the presence of objects and absence of objects, what are you in yourself? You're light only. Light means not this, of course. What we sensed as, we can't even say sensed. I am that. Even the least bit of objectification means the mind is functioning. Do not try to know yourself. This is a trick. I'll say something which is important. Try to get a feel for it and see what is meant here. If you settle down in the sense, I am awareness, the first thing which will happen is the seeking will stop. The first sign of understanding that I am witness consciousness is seeking stops. Because you have found it. Why would you seek anymore when you have found it? I want to know what I am. I found it. But then one more thing will start. I have found it, but now, whether I say it or not, whether I acknowledge it or not, I will try to know it. That also must stop. If you try to know it, you will know an object. An object will be presented to you. Maybe intelligence, maybe some awareness plus some object, a kind of an experience, maybe a great peace, maybe a light, something will be presented. No, even there also you might say, no matter how wonderful the object, how wonderful the experience, I am the witness of that too. If you know it, it's a lower state. Knowability is objectification. It's not your true nature. The true nature is entirely separate from all of this. What is this true nature? It is beyond Maya. He uses a beautiful word, Niranjana. Shuddha Niranjano. Ananta Bodho Aham. The Niranjana I will come to a little later. Ananta, limitless. All right. This limitless word is very important to attach to Bodha, to consciousness. Limitless consciousness. Why? The way we did this meditation, you get the sense, look, there is a body here, it's there. There is a prana, there is a mind, there is an intellect, and there is a blankness. And beyond that, so like some light flickering, shining, I am there, some kind of inner light, quite apart from all of these. Now he says, they are not apart from you. Where is the boundary of awareness? This body, which I am awareness, does my awareness stop at the body, or is the body experienced in awareness? It's experienced in awareness. Anything is experienced in awareness. That which is experienced in awareness is not other than awareness. The waves are experienced in the water. It's not that there is water and then the wave starts outside the water. No. Or not that there is a wave and then you fill water into it. No, the water itself is a wave. This is a second big step to take. In me the awareness, in me the bodha. I am apart from the body, the prana, the mind. Always catch like the nose. I am apart from them. Body, prana, mind, intellect, blankness. I am apart from all of them. Next step. Because I am Ananta, they are appearing in me. True or not? Are you with me, or have I left you far behind? It is appearing in me. It's a simple fact. Where else is it appearing? So, no, Swami, it's appearing there. But here and there, both are in you, the awareness. In awareness, in your awareness only, the body is appearing. In your awareness only, the prana is appearing. In you, the awareness only, mind is appearing. In you, the awareness only, intellect is appearing. In you, the awareness only, the absence of all of them is appearing. Therefore, the awareness is not limited by these. What seems physical, it will become clear next. And another verse will come. What seems physical, what seems vital, prana, what seems mental, mind, what seems intellectual, the buddhi, they are all nothing but appearances in awareness. So the awareness is limitless. Ananta bodha. And quite apart and distinct from all the appearances of the world. Niranjanaha. Not literally means not tainted. Not tainted. Everything that comes within the realm of appearance is tainted. Tainted by what? By limitation. Basically tainted by Maya. What is the sign of the tainted by Maya? Everything will be limited. Limited in space, limited in time, limited in identity. Everything will have a beginning and an end. Everything will change. What the Buddha noticed, the first fundamental truth of Buddhism. Anityam, anityam, sarvam anityam. Impermanent, impermanent, indeed, all is impermanent. Not only impermanent. If it's impermanent, we don't mind. If it lasts for 80 years, 100 years, it will serve me. No, it doesn't even last for a moment. Momentary, all is momentary. Kshanikam, sarvam kshanikam. Modern science is now, physics is now saying that it's true at the particle level. Particles are continuously changing. Momentary, all is momentary. In fact, this solid seeming wall and hall, it's abuzz with activity. Whirling particles. And it's supposed to be mostly space. That's what we learned in school physics. Mostly empty space. And abuzz with activity. Kshanikam, moment to moment, this world of appearance is changing. And not only moment to moment, it is saying emptiness, indeed all is emptiness. Shunyam, sarvam shunyam. Being transitory, being momentary, and being empty, hence, if you try to grasp onto it, dukkham, sarvam dukkham. If you make your home here, dukkham, sarvam dukkham. Suffering, indeed all is suffering. Even if you say, I don't have suffering, well, dissatisfactory. The existential angst. When every demand of ours has been fulfilled, even at that moment of perfection, if you stop for a while, you will see the seeds of unhappiness there. Since everything is changing, if you make your life perfect, you drop your wish list and make your life exactly like that, what will happen next moment? Change. So from optimal situation, immediately, within one moment, suboptimal. So dukkham, sarvam dukkham. This is the taint of Maya. Everything within this is tainted. Anjana. It's tainted. But bodha, what is bodha? Niranjana. It is untainted by Maya. It is beyond Maya. He says bodha, next see, prakrite paraha, transcending prakriti, transcending Maya. There is a very beautiful Nirguni bhajan by Kabir Das, which says, Ram Niranjan Nyara Re. Ram Niranjan, what is called bodha, consciousness here, there Kabir Das sings, he calls it Ram Niranjan Nyara Re. He says the attributeless Brahman, the absolute reality, pure consciousness or pure being is entirely different. Anjana sakala jag paserare. That is the song. Anjana means here taint. Taint is standing for Maya. Maya created this entire world. It is the same Ram Niranjan with Maya who creates the entire world. So what a beautiful line. Ram Niranjan Nyara. This is a great singer, Kumar Gandharv. I found it on your YouTube. I will talk to our IT team. We'll see if we can play it. I was thinking in the next session, instead of the meditation, I will explain the bhajan and we will listen to it meditatively. It's about 8 minutes or so in Kumar Gandharv's voice. Ram Niranjan Nyarare. Anjan Sakala Paserare. Anjan means Maya. Maya has, this is the display of Maya. And then he goes on. I will, line by line, I will explain. It is basically, the bhajan is just this line, first line of this verse. I mean, I'm not saying Kabir Das translated this into the bhajan, but it means the same thing. Shuddha Niranjano Ananta Bodho Aham Prakrite Paraha. What Kabir Das calls Ram Niranjan, here, Yoga Vasistha. Vasistha tells us, it's you. That who is that Ram Niranjan? It is you. Kabir Das ends that song. At the end he will say, Koi birla jage re, ananta mein. I'm forgetting the exact words. Most people are within this realm of Maya. And this realm of Maya is not bad. It includes God. It includes Avatar. Kabir Das sings, Govinda, Krishna dancing with the gopis is Anjana, is within Maya also. Not in a bad sense. Avatar also requires Maya. Sri Ramakrishna says, Mayari Avatar. Some Swami Vivekananda said about Sri Ramakrishna, he was Kali, I am firmly convinced of it. Kali worked up the body of Ramakrishna for her own ends. Kabir Das sings, Krishna dancing with the gopis is also Anjana. It is a very rare one who wakes up to the unqualified Brahman. Koi birala, very rare one who awakens, jo jagere. Awakens to what? Anantame. He says, Anantam bodho aham. We awaken to the limitless nature of ourselves, the limitless nature of consciousness, ourselves. That limitless nature is what Kumar Gandha or Kabir Das sings as Ram Niranjan Nyara Re. Nyara means separate, different, utterly different from all of this. But you are that. Anyway, more of that when we do the song. I'll see if we can do it. Otherwise, I'll just tell you the meaning. Now, Cheshtamanam imam, Cheshtamana imam deham. This body, which is it 10:45 now? 10:45, right? Huh? 10:42, okay, we have time. This body, it is active. It is active. To know that you are pure consciousness, light itself, does it contradict with your day-to-day activities? Not at all. The enlightened one can be fully active. You can walk and talk and cook and drive and hold a job. You can be a monk in the Himalayan cave. You can be an emperor ruling an empire. You can be fully enlightened. There is no contradiction. What contradiction is there between the screen and the movie? You can play any movies, any number of movies. In fact, without the screen, you can't play the movie. So the movie of your life, any life, you can play on the screen of Ram Niranjan Nyara Re. So, Cheshtamanam, active. Now I have become enlightened. I'll sit like a statue. What happened to him? He became enlightened. We had an interesting discussion in the Harvard Divinity School when we were studying Buddhism. So it says when a person becomes a Buddha, becomes omniscient, all-knowing. But then the problem is, in Buddhist philosophy, our ordinary knowledge, what we see here, it's all false, according to Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism at least. In fact, every school of Buddhism considers the knowledge of the world to be suspect. So, all knowledge is false, and Buddha is omniscient. He has all knowledge. So, does Buddha is he an encyclopedia of all false knowledge? The question is, when you become a Buddha, do you know everything or do you know nothing? The professor said, so when you become a Buddha, are you reduced to a brainstem? Brainstem Buddha. He said, do you become comatose? It's not a very attractive idea of enlightenment at all. Ambulance coming up, call 911. What happened? He became enlightened. He's brain dead. No, not at all. Cheshtamanam. That's not what it means. Cheshtamanam means fully active in the world. But you see, this world, this appearance is false. Yes, knowing it's false, at that level you can still interact. Don't you work in a virtual reality? So aren't you active in a dream? You can be active, knowing a higher reality. You don't even have to call this false. You can say this is a lower reality and what you have realized is a higher truth. Vivekananda says not from falsity to truth, but from lower truth to higher truth. You can consider this world to be true also. Classical Advaita Vedanta does not say that. But what it means by false, you can call it a lower truth. They have no objection. They have a term called Vyavaharika Satyam, transactional truth, empirical truth. Cheshtamanam, you can do everything. Or you may not do anything else. It does not matter. For the enlightened one, there are no rules. Cheshtamanam, active. So there's this beautiful story, again in the Yoga Vasistha. You'll find the story of the princess Chudala. Now, the way I heard it was a little variation on that story, but a very nice variation from a monk. So the story goes like this. In ancient times, there were a king and a queen in some ancient kingdom. And the queen happened to be enlightened. So one day the king asked the queen, how is it, my dear, that you are so serene, so calm and balanced, and you are always peaceful and happy? How? In the midst of all ups and downs in the fortunes of the royal family, how? Then she explained to him that we are actually not the body, not the mind, and how you meditate upon that, how you realize that you are not the body mind, you are awareness. In awareness, as awareness, there is no problem at all. And therefore, from that perspective, you can remain serene. And the king was astonished. He said, I never knew this. This is amazing. Thank you for teaching me, my dear. And he took a sabbatical to realize, to become enlightened. Sabbatical also, he goes to the forest, but he's a king, there's a palace in the forest for him. And he told the queen that you run the kingdom. I'm going to become enlightened and come back. And so he goes to the forest, and in his forest palace, he meditates and studies and thinks about it until one day he becomes enlightened. He sees that, oh, I am awareness, bodhoham, anantam. All right. Then he comes back and he tells his wife, the queen, that this is what I've realized, and she is very happy, and he is also delighted, and he spends long hours in contemplation. Then he has a question. He says, all this what you told me I have realized, but I still have a question. This wonderful thing you have realized long ago, and I have realized now, and I always want to remain with it, absorbed in it. But I see that you don't remain absorbed in it. Sometimes you do your spiritual practices, sometimes you're busy with all the duties of the royal household. How can you neglect that wonderful thing which we have discovered as limitless awareness? How can you not stay there? Why be busy with all this nonsense? You are not like me. Then the queen said, yes, I was waiting for you to ask that. I was wondering when you would ask that. And then she shows him that what he found with eyes closed, apart from the body, apart from the prana and the mind and the intellect and the darkness of deep sleep, that blazing light of pure consciousness I am. Having found that, but now look back upon the world, and you see that light itself has become this world, or has appearing as this world. Every experience in this world is a gateway to that light. You don't have to shut out the world and to remain absorbed in that light. You can if you want, but you don't have to. So this is she said, the next step in your realization. This is real non-duality. Because if you cut out the world and think that it is real, and I'm separating myself from it, body, mind, prana and all of that, and I am the witness consciousness, still duality. When I realize this light is without limit, ananta bodho aham, then everything that appears in that light is nothing but that light. Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of the man who went up the staircase in a house and reached the roof. He left behind the first floor and the second floor and reached the roof. When he reached the roof, he saw whatever things the roof was made of, concrete and brick and mortar and lime and all of that. Then he realized whatever he had left behind, the staircase, first floor, second floor, they're all made of the same material. So Sri Ramakrishna says, by neti neti one ascends to pure consciousness. Bodho aham. But then one turns, this is called jnana, realization. But a fuller realization, Sri Ramakrishna called it vijnana, turning back and looking at the world and seeing the same Brahman, same pure consciousness everywhere here. So cheshtamanam. Pashyami anya shariravat. How does the enlightened one look upon one's own body? Just as a very nice clue, just as we look upon the bodies of others. We see them acting, we see them walking, talking, yelling, singing, dancing. We see one's own body just like that. Not just the body, mind also. It's there, it's doing everything that has to be done. There's a nice, cute story about Ramana Maharshi. Somebody wrote an article in a paper, an editorial, criticizing him and sent him a copy. And Ramana Maharshi carefully sat down, corrected the spelling mistakes and the grammar and the language and sent it back to a much more improved article. Somebody protested, but Maharshi, he's criticizing you. And Ramana Maharshi said, of course not. He's criticizing some fellow called Ramana. I am limitless pure consciousness. I mean, he didn't say that, I mean, this part. I'm just saying, from Ramana Maharshi's perspective, he is the same, the critic, and this Ramana Maharshi. I am the same consciousness in both. Remember, the enlightened person, the Ramana Maharshi does not say, I am Ramana Maharshi who has realized that I am pure consciousness. The enlightened person does not say, I am this enlightened person who knows that I am Brahman. No. I am Brahman. I am not an enlightened person. Shankaracharya sings, Brahmaivaham natu brahmavit. I am Brahman alone, nothing else. I am not the knower of Brahman. The knower of Brahman is still a person. Nisargadatta's story is there, which I like. When he became enlightened, he thought, enough of this nonsense. He used to live in this very poor area of Mumbai, and he would sell bidis, this country-made cigarettes for a living. Difficult area. And he said, enough of living in these dismal conditions. I am off to the mountains. I don't need anything in this world. I'll live in the Himalayas for the rest of the life of this body. And he started walking. Then he stopped. What am I doing? What is there is here also. There are monks there I've met who will not come down below 5,000 feet. I met a monk who was trying to achieve Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Long story, but anyway, I'll make it short. And then he said, so you have come from the Ramakrishna order, from your monastery. It's a large order. There must be a number of monks who have attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And now I had to defend my order, so I said, yeah, there are some. He said, oh, good. Tell me the name of one. I mentioned one possible candidate. Then he said, good, where does he live? I'll go and learn from him. I thought, oh no. I put the senior monk in trouble. If this monk with his jata, that is top knot and with trident, turns up in the monastery. But then I was saved because I said the monastery is near Calcutta. They don't understand Calcutta that way. They say Ganga Sagar, where the Ganga meets the ocean, the delta of the Bay of Bengal. There, the monastery is there. He said, oh, tab to nahi hoga. Then it's not possible. Why? It's in the plains of India. Wahan vikshep hota hai. Their mind gets distracted. I will not go there. So his limit is 5,000 feet and above. Now I met at least 2 such monks I met. They have that feeling, and there is something to be said for that. If we say all these things to those monks, you know what their reply will be? Say, all very good. Have you reached that level? Have you reached that? Are you perfectly serene in a monastery, in a retreat, and in a cinema hall? Are you perfectly immersed in Brahman? You are not. Be honest. Then stay in an environment which is conducive to spiritual practice. Cheshtamanam, all activities can be done. Pashyami anya shariravat, as if it's like the body of another one. Like that, you see. One word about this and we'll go into the Q&A for a couple of minutes. In the Panchadashi, there's a discussion. In what sense does an enlightened one use the word I? And he says, 3 senses are there. 2 are used by an enlightened person and 1 by us, the unenlightened one, ordinary people. We use it in 1 sense. We use it, the word I, the vertical I, in 1 sense only, to refer to this body-mind. Whatever we may say, in our behavior, feelings and thought and actions, we refer by I, we mean this. That's all. But the enlightened one has 2 different meanings of I. When they say I, it means 2 different things. What are those other 2 uses of I? 1, I am Brahman. They may not say it, but for them it's absolutely clear. I am awareness. Bodhoham, I am limitless awareness. Niranjanoham, I am taintless awareness. That's clear for them. That's the meaning of I for them. Secondarily, for them, the I also means body-mind. They can also refer to the body-mind as I, for transaction with us, for living in this world. Otherwise, they would have to say, I, the infinite Bodha, working through the body of Swami, I'm giving a talk to you now. No, that's very cumbersome. But sometimes they slip up. Sometimes they regard that body itself as somebody else's body, like Ramana Maharshi did, like Sri Ramakrishna. Sometimes you will notice in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, he would refer to the body as this place, this thing. Saint Francis would refer to the body as brother ass. Donkey, brother ass. They have they are not pretending. They clearly know that we are not the body. So their body is regarded just like we regard somebody else's other person's body, which is doing all activities. Like that, they regard the body, which is doing all activities. Like that queen, in the midst of all activities, also is always poised in Brahman, in her real nature. In the midst of all activities, she can claim, Ram Niranjan Nyarare. I'm entirely free of samsara. I'm consciousness. Yes, consciousness plus body, mind, duties, work. No, only consciousness. Only Brahman, only being. Good. One or two questions? Yes, please come here. There's the microphone. 3. So 3 of you. That's it. Because we don't have to have time for more. You come and let the lady come. We'll take up your question in the next class. Go ahead. Tell us your name and ask the question. Is it on? Shweta, yes.
I have 2 questions. The first is when you talk about getting to this awareness in the meditation steps, how do you get from the point of being this awareness and having the objectivity about yourself to bridging that I am this awareness in all?
Yes. That's the second step in Advaita Vedanta. First step is not so difficult. That I am pure awareness, sort of, it makes sense. I am the witness of the body, mind, up to the blankness. But the next step is, this awareness itself encompasses everything. That second step. When the man reaches the roof of the house and looks back and sees everything is made of. So you have to ask the question, then this body, mind, prana, this world, 5 elements, panchabhuta, or how many elements are there now in the periodic table? I've forgotten. We had to memorize these kids. 150 odd. 150 odd. Inert gases and all we have to memorize. So, that is all material universe, it's separate from me. No. You have to ask the question, what is the relationship of this to me? One sadhu put it beautifully, I'll tell you in Hindi and then translate. He said, Drishya to drashta se, drashta to drishya se alag hai, so to theek hai Mahatma ji. It is true, O monk, that you, the witness consciousness, you are separate from the entire display of this universe. लेकिन कभी आपने सोचा है कि दृश्य दृष्टा से अलग है? Have you ever thought whether what is being displayed to you, what is appearing in you, to you in consciousness, is it separate from you? What I'm saying is, you are separate from it, but is it separate from you? You say, what do you mean? If A is separate from B, then B must be separate from A. It follows. No. See, this cloth is separate from the book. How do you know? You can see the cloth without the book, you can experience it. You can experience the book without the cloth. But if I say, is the book separate from the paper? No. Is the paper separate from the book? Yes. Because even though it seems to be the book and the paper seem to be one thing now, actually it was paper before it was a book. And it's paper now. And it will continue to be paper if it's torn and recycled, or it will continue to be paper. Paper is separate from the book. But the book can never be separate from the paper. You, the witness consciousness, bodha, you are separate from the entire universe. But the universe is not separate from you. It's worth thinking about. One good example, way of thinking is dream. Dream. You are separate from everybody, everything and every action that you see in the dream. But nothing in the dream, nobody in the dream, and no event in the dream is separate from you, the dreamer. True or not? They don't exist without you. So you are one with everything in the dream, or rather everything in the dream is one with you. And yet, Ram Niranjan Nyara, you are separate from it all completely. Yeah.
Just another follow-up question, maybe slightly separate. In the process of meditation, as we go through the steps, and you start to get to the subjective stance, how do I separate that it's not my mind that's actually making the observation, and it is something actually
Beyond the mind, yes. There are many ways of doing that. One is the deep sleep experience. If deep sleep is at all an experience, well, the mind is shut down there. There is no experience of the world, no experience of the body, no experience of dreams, thoughts, memories, nothing, just total blankness. And yet, if you consider that an experience, which Advaita does, then what was experiencing deep sleep in the absence of the mind? It is the mind which wakes, dreams, and sleeps. Consciousness is ever shining. In Advaita Makaranda, a question is raised at the end. So in deep sleep, there is consciousness witnessing the blankness of deep sleep, Sushupti. Can we say then Sushupti belongs to consciousness and waking and dreaming belong to the mind? Because when waking and dreaming is there, mind is there. Waking and dreaming are not there, mind is not there. So in deep sleep, only consciousness plus Sushupti, blankness. If you agree to that, then you're trapped again. Consciousness is not associated with that blankness of deep sleep. And the answer is beautiful. Lakshmidhara Kavi, he says, waking, who can wake up? Only the sleeper can wake up. Who was sleeping? Mind. Who awakes? Mind. And by extension, who dreams? Mind. Consciousness illumines all three. If you say deep sleep belongs to consciousness, then you say consciousness is sleeping. No, consciousness is always awake, never sleeping. It's when a monk dies in Belurmant and when they're cremated, they cremate them in the monastery itself. So there is singing of bhajans all night. The first bhajan, which is sung by the monks, come, let us go to that land where forever shines the full moon of my beloved, that is Brahman. There is no rising and setting there. In day and night is illumined by that one light. To that land let us go. So yes. Okay.
Mr. Swamiji, my name is Raj. Actually, my question is an extension of what she asked. I find that when we do the Neti approach, the one that we have, the cleanest from a logical standpoint and from the most parsimonious way to get to Aham Brahmasmi is having the Ekajiva Vada point of view. To go beyond that, I feel like we need to marshal in things like chapter 13 or other things. And I love chapter 13 too. But I feel like we need to do a lot of heavy lifting. Am I incorrect in
No, you're correct.
Towards Ekajiva?
No, you're correct. Drishti Shrishti Vad and Ekajiva Vad generally go well together. And Advaita seems very clear from that perspective. If you come down to our common sense view of the world, we are separate beings, there is an external world, and there is a God who rules the world, who creates the world through Big Bang or whatever, then you have to bring in some element of theology, religion, some kind of belief system. Elegant, direct, powerful, Drishti Shrishti Vada, Ekajiva Vada. Even more than that, if you can swallow it, Ajata Vada, non-origination of Gaudapada. Elegant, straightforward, uncompromising. But the problem there is, they require extreme renunciation. You must live. Their requirement is dark. This is the nose. If you catch hold of Brahman and Brahman only, the world is only not either an appearance of Brahman and you are Brahman. World is your appearance. Ekajiva Vada. Or there is no question of world only. Brahman only exists. Then for every little problem in the world, you have to be completely dismissive. You should not let anything perturb you or throw you off balance. External world still you can withstand. Internal troubles, you should be able to dismiss all desire, all unhappiness, all depression, dismiss completely. Only very great renunciation, great vairagya is required. I remember I was once discussing this issue with a monk in the Himalayas in Gangotri. Difference between Gaudapada and Shankaracharya. Then that monk said, who was very learned in Vedanta, he said, "Are Gaudapat, wo to Bhakkad Mahatma the." He was Bhakkad, the word Bhakkad there means, in the lower plains of India, it means a beggar, a hobo. Good for nothing. But in the high Himalayas, it means a desperate, person who holds on to that highest ideal and does not care for anything in the world, not even life and death. Who owns nothing, depends on nothing. There are a few rare such ones. So that is the philosophy of Gaudapada. Then I asked, if that is Gaudapada, then what is Shankaracharya? Then the monk said, "Are Shankaracharya to Jagat Guru the na. He was a world teacher. So he had to carry the world with him. He had to make allowances for us. So is it a compromise in logic? To some extent, maybe. A little. The rigor is relaxed a little. Anyway, a long story. The rigor is relaxed a little. I remember, see what will happen. Suppose we seriously take up Ekajivavada, Rishti-Shrishtivada. I know people who have tried it. At least 2-3 monks and a person working in Wall Street and all tried it. The result is, very first impact on an impure mind is a kind of don't care attitude about the world, a kind of alienation. You feel everything is a dream. Then very quickly, I've been told, your external life starts falling apart. You're not attending to the duties, what has to be done. And internally a depression comes, which is difficult to shake off. This is for people like us suddenly trying to grasp that. I was told, when I talk about this high Advaita, one by a very senior monk who told me, see, I actually met a person who taught and practiced and lived what you are talking about. There's one great monk of our order who passed away. He was in Kerala many years ago, in the middle 20th century. So this monk met that monk. That monk, his name was Ishwarananda Puri. He has passed away. I never saw him. But this monk told me, one thing let me tell you. This person I met who practiced what you are teaching, who actually lived it, and people felt the power of that. But he was practically a saint. Extremely austere in his life, extremely pure personality, practically already a saint. It's possible for that person to live it, walk the razor's edge. And my point is, the easier forms, downstream, Bahujivavada, this Srishti Drishtivada, this is closer to common sense. Our very materialistic sense of the world, it is closer, it starts where we are. And it will take us to the same realization. People are fascinated by the Ekajivavada, Ajatavada. They think they will get some Brahman plus enlightenment, faster enlightenment. In one sense, it's true. Not that they will get Brahman plus. They will reach the same Brahman, but faster in one sense. It is logically faster. But psychologically, I don't know.
If I may just one tail piece. One needs to watch out for manifestations of callousness. Would that be what you were saying?
Callousness, one's own desires. Where one trips up. I hold on to these principles, every now and then I violate it.
Thank you very much.
Tell us your name and ask the question.
My name is Sakina, and thank you so much for all of this. I had one question that came up just now, and then one question that it's been a burning one for me. So the first one is, when you were talking about impermanence, I was just wondering, can you challenge this thought? Because that helps me learn. But I just had this thought that impermanence, like watching a thought go by, or like nose, right? Like noticing the impermanence of the things on our mind or what we see. Is that God awareness? Can we experience I am Brahman in all the impermanence that we experience? Because I think that is one thing that I...
First notice the impermanence.
Yeah.
in thoughts, in sensations, in the world outside, in our own bodies, in our own lives, in our relationships, everywhere, impermanence. That helps us to be detached. The reason why we don't see ourselves or realize ourselves as awareness itself, because we keep mixing ourselves up with impermanent things and holding on to them. Body, mind, relationships, money. They will all be there, but don't think that you are them. One sadhu was there, Ram Sukdas ji. He's written a wonderful Gita, Gita Sadhak Sanjeevani. He lived to the age of 102, 103. I had the opportunity to meet him. I missed it out of my own restlessness. I was going past his cottage. Somebody said, please go and meet this great sadhu. I said, I'm in a hurry. I was going to meet somebody else. I'll meet him next time I come. Foolish. He was already 100 years old. The next time I came was 4 years later when he had passed away. Anyhow, one beautiful thing he said. Nitya और अनित्य में कोई संबंध नहीं हो सकता है. Between the eternal and the non-eternal, there can be no relationship. You are eternal souls, not just in Advaita Vedanta, in every religion. You are eternal souls. And you, the eternal, and this non-eternal world and relationships and people and money and Facebook likes, there is no relationship between you. You think you have a relationship with the world. You cannot. You'll always be disappointed. So notice the transitoriness of the world. This will help you to free yourself in the midst of all this. Then you realize you are the changeless amidst the changing. If you want to call it God consciousness, you can. I just call it consciousness with a capital C.
Thank you. And then the second question is, how did you go about finding your guru?
Oh, that was very interesting. My father had a guru in the Ramakrishna Vivekananda tradition, Ramakrishna, this order, and I used to read books on Vivekananda. And when I realized what is initiation and a guru, at one point I thought I must have a guru. And I was in college. I think I was 21 years old. Then I found out who is the head of the Ramakrishna order, the president in Belur Math. And I wrote to him, can I get initiation from you? And he wrote back saying, yeah, come over. And I still remember, the funny part was my father. My father, who was a very spiritual man, he chuckled. He said, I have always heard the time is right, the guru comes. I've never seen such guru hunting. You're chasing down a guru. So when the time comes, you feel that I need a guru, I need initiation, I need a practice of my own. Then you go to the guru and ask for initiation. If you're interested, you can get in touch with the Matajis here, who are the head of Akhanda Prananji is there, Dhyana Prananji is there, and their team. They will tell you about the next initiation here, or Swami Sarvadevananda gives initiation here, in our order, in our tradition.
Okay.
Yeah. Good. All right. Now we will, no, not now. We have run out of time. We have 15 minutes.
I just need the permission to have a question posed next time with us.
Certainly.
And it will not be a question, rather a request to explain something.
Certainly. In the next session. So let's assemble after 15 minutes, 11:30, right? The next session will be from 11:30 to 12:30.